Hello there everyone, how is it going? Welcome back to another video here on the channel. I hope you're all doing very well. Today we have another FIFA 20 coaching session for you, which is taken directly from our live stream, which is twitch.tv/FIFA analyst. We are live every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. With this actual coaching session, we have broke it down into the bits that we spoke about. So it is still fairly long, about 30 minutes, but it's all broken down into bits for you so you can go ahead and just watch all the key parts. If you are interested in coaching yourself, please do drop me a tweet on Twitter. A link is in the description for that. And also a reminder, if you do enjoy the video, drop a like and subscribe to the channel. But let's go ahead and jump straight into it, and I hope you guys enjoy. So the way they want to be playing this is obviously this is a friendly, but they're playing it really to see who's the better player. So they're playing with a lot on the line. Just something there, it's a little bit, it's common, but I don't know why people do it, if I'm honest with you. It depends what your mindset is at a particular time. So it's early on into the game, less than 2 minutes. And the main thing here is that we turn back in and for whatever reason, we try and pass it into here. The simple thing to do is just to hold the ball, pass it to these sort of players. I'm not going to dive into it too much, just because it's simple sort of stuff that we shouldn't be making that early on in the game. Do you know what I mean? We want to be holding the ball. We want to get a good start in. If you can build up and then have an attack, great. Don't want to be giving the ball away there cheaply. Especially when you come up against better opponents. It's just cheap stuff, isn't it, at the end of the day? I think overall that's fine. What I don't like is this coming up here in the middle though. So with Alan, he covers the passing lane and then he makes a little tackle, which just pulls him out of position ever so slightly. I don't know if that was needed, but I suppose it wasn't a game changer. The movement with Van Dijk is fine. He just covers the area off well, to be honest with you. Just to look at it one last little time though, just to be sure. Let's have a look. So, for anyone that's struggling with defending, all that's happening here is that Reisman, Sam, is holding L2 and R2, which is sprint and jockey. And all he's trying to do, basically, is cover this Ronaldo run into there. So the way he's going to do that is by covering this little area here. Because if Insigne, so if Kingpin, decides to carry on making the run forward, you've then got two options. Option number one is to close. And what do I mean by that? Close Insigne down. And then option number two is to track the run. Track, which that would be that there. So number one, go and close down Insigne. Or number two, carry on covering the Ronaldo pass. Hope that makes sense for us. He chooses to go with number two, which is fine. I think if Insigne takes one more touch, that's when you then go and press him and try and close him down, in my opinion. Because Ronaldo is then going borderline offside. Okay, so let's go back and look at this. What I think is quite shocking here is the fact that he's got two centre mids, well, centre defensive mids, that realistically should be in these positions. They should have dropped off a little bit. Because they've got no one in this area here. So I'll be a bit annoyed by that. I mean, that's Patrick Vieira there. Do you know what I mean? So the switch was a little bit late. He carries on tracking the Ronaldo run, which is fine. That tackle there is a bit dangerous. What could he have done with Van Dijk? Let's take a look. I want to know if he could have put a bit more pressure on with Van Dijk on Neymar. So like he backs off here, backs off. I think it's the right call, to be honest, because if he goes to go and press here and tries to get a tackle in on Neymar, that can leave that pass on quite comfortably. But also, Neymar's not really in a goal-scoring position here. You know, Neymar, all he can keep doing is running down here, and then he can look for the sweat back in this area. So I think the way Reisman defends this is actually perfect, to be honest with you. All he's trying to do is cover this pass off to Ronaldo. He's a little bit unfortunate to not intercept it. And the reason why I don't think he hasn't intercepted that there is because he's not holding L2 by the looks of it, which is the jockey. He is there, but then I think now he sprints, and that just makes Van Dijk not as big as he should be. But we get away with it anyway, so it's not too much of a big deal. Okay, so this is something that happens quite a lot with players, and I don't quite get it. So Yeah, for me, I don't know if it's just because I prefer to try and be a little bit aggressive, is that we're tracking this Ronaldo run for a very, very long time. What I would like to see happen is that Cancelo at the minute is covering this Ronaldo pass. He's in that area to cover it. So because it's covered, I would like to put pressure on Insigne. So I would carry on holding L2 and then I'd run forward to try and put pressure on the ball holder. But can you just see how we just carry on backing off? And what that then does is it allows Kingpin to take the extra touch and turn back in this way and then look for that pass. While as, if we go back and look at it, if now we put pressure on, can you just see how I personally think because of that extra touch, if we were to put pressure on there, we win that ball. However, saying this, that's how I like to defend. For some people, what you're doing is fine because you are covering that run. I think Ronaldo gets offside. Yeah, just about offside. So it's catch-22. It's how you want to play. It's calculated aggression, to be honest with you. So again, just another little point directly here. One thing that my pet hate is giving the ball away cheaply. And that little turn there, basically, with Eusebio. I mean, we give it away there, first of all, which is a no-go. But then as soon as we get into this final third here, I just feel like we needed to be a little more patient. Because Sam moves back up this way, he's trying to look for this pass, which the only way that pass, I think, is going to work, which is quite strong, actually, at the minute on FIFA, is if you do L1 and triangle, or LB and circle on LB circle? No, LB and B, sorry, on Xbox. Because if you play that little LB, L1 and triangle, it almost can come into this area here, and it is actually quite strong this year. Instead, we try and go for a pass, which this way isn't really going to work most times just because of Ferdinand. What I think is the more logical option here is to just try and look for Neymar running on the outside. Because this here, what most people are seeing is space, space. Let's run into it. Yeah, let's play the pass. Let's get in. Bang, shoot, goal. Because you've got these two defenders marking this man, it almost makes it very difficult. For me personally, the run is play the pass into Neymar around the outside, who's going to run into this space here. You're then going to have Eusebio about here, and you're then going to have, I don't know who that is, I think it might be Insigne, in the 6-yard box. You then look for the cutback across. It's a very effective way of scoring. It's pretty much an open goal in a way. But unfortunately, we give the ball away. So, okay, this is what I don't like with defenders. Because you tell people to hold L2, jockey, and jockey with the ball more, jockey with the players more to try and cover the passing lanes, that sort of thing. What I despise here is that, look at that. We basically just said to Kingpin, you pick the pass that you want, you do what you want, basically. So, with Ferdinand here, again, it's how aggressive do you want to be? I personally would either go and angle my run up this way and then put the pressure on the ball holder because that crosses that pass out. Obviously, he's then got to pass on to Ronaldo, but you've got Van Dijk there. So it's how confident you feel in defence. This is Reisman's gameplay, mate, one of the Twitch subs. So, yeah, you can arch your run and put the pressure on the ball holder and that keeps that out. But it leaves that pass on. So that depends how confident you are. However, what we do is we try and cover this area to stop this pass. Which, okay, yeah, that's a fine. That's a logical option. We switch quick with Ferdinand and we get to Van Dijk, which is fine. I'm happy with that. What I would like to see here, though, is get right up in the face of this Ronaldo. If you get in that little 2-yard radius, if he then wants to try and run down this way, you can cover it, you can react. If he wants to go into Neymar, you can cover it and react. However, we don't do that. And what we literally do is look at that there. We back off, we back off, we back off. Kingpin turns. we can make the option then to dive in and try and cover that pass or not. But we keep backing off. I think with Kingpin there, he's messed up massively. He had a good chance to probably try and look for Ronaldo to then go near post. But it's very passive. It's waiting for the opposition to make the mistake, which against quality opponents, unfortunately, you're going to get punished there. Let's have a look at that there. What happened? I was having a drink. I know we lost the ball, but I want to know how we lost the ball, Sam. Do we try and... Alright. Again, this is a friendly, so this probably wouldn't happen in a FUT Champs game, in a Rivals game. However, it's just habits that you don't want to get into. What are we doing a roulette there for? Just don't. Not in your own half. You do that on the edge of the box. Your fullbacks on state. Sam, stop giving the ball away. Simple. Tackle. Switch. Good, 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 good. This is what I like. This is what I like. So, we lose the ball. Okay, it is what it is. But what I like here is we switch. We try and cover this 1-2 in case that's what he goes for. Politano could... I mean, because what most people are going to think here is Politano is going to pass it into CR7. That's what most players would think. A decent player might go, you're going to expect that, so I'm going to run down here and try and utilise that space. So, you know, take your chances. But what I like is that we switch there and we literally, as soon as we see CR7 turn back in this way, that then means that this pass isn't on. He hasn't really got a pass on down to here. It's a bit too risky. So what I really, really like that Sam does brilliantly is he gets in the opponent's face and he makes the tackle. Well, he tries to make the tackle. He doesn't win the ball, but that's what I like. That's what I mean with a bit more aggression. You can do that in that area because look where we are. We're quite a way out. Right, yeah, if we mistime it, he might be able to get in, but then you've got Ferdinand to come over and cover. But it's not the be-all and end-all. If this was on that edge of the box there and we mistime the tackle and don't win the ball, then it's a more sticky situation. Do we have time? Yeah. So, first of all, this game has been an absolute stalemate. No one's really created a great opportunity. I do feel like Reisman's team is set up very defensively, which is meaning that Kingpin's having quite a bit of the ball in Reisman's half. Whenever Reisman is moving forward, he's playing quite quick, rushing it a little bit, losing the ball quite cheaply as well. So the pass accuracy for Reisman is 81%, which for me, this figure should never, easier said than done, never be less than 90%. Okay? Always got to be higher than that, in my honest opinion. 52% possession to 48, but as I said, Kingpin's having it in the areas that are a bit more dangerous. Reisman's not really done anything with the ball so far. He's had 0 shots and Kingpin's had 4, 3 on target. Again, for Kingpin's side of things, I'd like to see that pass accuracy increase. Tackles wise, 4-1. So at the minute, Kingpin is the better player, is having a bit more of the ball. Well, not a bit more of the ball, but a bit more of the ball in the better area and creating a few more chances as well. So, okay. So, we win the ball back here, which we do quite well with, just intercepting the pass. I think this is... It's fine, but most people really just... A lot of average FIFA players are going to try and run down the line here. You're going to lose the ball because it's Insigne versus Ferdinand, strength-wise, that sort of thing. What I would say is the easiest thing to do here is ball roll in this direction, pass it back to the left back. Instead, we do a fake shot, which we win in that case. That's fine. What I would probably say here, though, is because it's just kicked off, your team's still kind of setting up, I would probably bring it back to the centre mid and work my way over to this right-hand side. However, we tried to go quite direct into Eusebio in just a second, which I don't feel like we're quite ready for it. We haven't really got the support from anyone, but we tried to move it around. Again, it's just giving away the ball in an area where, yeah, you're fine. You're not going to concede directly from that, I don't think. However, we haven't created a chance yet where we've even put a shot on target. I'd like to see us go out in the second half, really keep hold of the ball, use it as like the precious thing, and when you get the chance, then take a shot. So we just need to put a little bit more pressure on in the game, in my opinion. Play the pass, it's fine. Okay, so this is good. I like this. Reisman, ball roll, not so needed. Insigne makes a brilliant run, and it's a lovely little pass from Eusebio. What could we have done differently here? Anyone have any suggestions? I want to know why Insigne makes that run. I mean, that was beautiful. I think he must have triggered that with L1, you know. Now, this is how you guys perceive it, to be honest. So, to me, this is Insigne. What's he got? A full star weak foot. I personally would here, I would X and square, fake shot. Dead fake shot. Let go of the analog stick, do a fake shot. I'd then look for the right mid that'll be coming over to there. I feel like taking the shot on here with a 4-star weak foot Insigne who's got a player right on his shoulder. I don't feel like it's going to go in like any of the times really, just because of the pressure on him. If that was maybe, you know, Neymar, 5-star weak foot, possibly, but I still think it's very unlikely that that shot goes in. All right, so you know earlier on how I said about how, you know, timed aggression and pressing tackle, you should really only be pressing tackle when you're like 99% sure you're gonna put a good tackle in. This here was very much a I'm gonna just press tackle and hope, because Kingpin's already turned, he's already facing this way, he's already on for that shot there. Instead, as soon as he turns, I don't know who this is that we're controlling at the minute, but with Van Dijk, we try a tackle here, which is aimed at that direction there when the ball's already going this way. Kingpin doesn't utilise this chance the greatest. Again, he can probably come forward another touch. So we get away with that quite a lot. But that's what I mean by you've got to be sure when you're pressing tackle that you're going to have a good chance of winning that ball back. I think that was very much a I've been beaten, press tackle and hope, and it takes the player out of the game. Right, so this here, I'm going to slow this right down. As soon as we switch there, we've got to. What is the most easiest way to score on this game? Near post. Protect this area, the near post, like it's your golden child, right? Just think, you've just had a baby. However you've had the baby, you've had a baby. It's your little precious, right? You don't want it to be hurt. You don't want it to get dropped. You want to look after it. You want to care for it. That's what you want to be thinking of your near post. So hold L2 this way. Just jockey down this way. Instead, we don't. We kind of like move up this way. And again, it should be a goal. It just really gets away with it. Kingpin snatches at it, to be honest. But it's poor defending. Again, against quality opponents. Might not be a goal, but they're certainly going to create a very good chance on that. I think Kingpin just snatches at it. Oh. Alright, let's just appreciate this, boys. Let's just appreciate this. Lovely, lovely little stuff here from Reisman. I like the fake shot. What I like is, I'm pretty sure 9 out of 10 FIFA players here play the pass in. He realises that this near post is there. Pulls back up there. Kingpin makes a panic tackle and just moves it. It was a lovely, lovely finish though. I like it, I like it. Credit where credit's due in that case. Oh. Lovely little stuff here from Reisman. I like the drag back. I like the pass. I like the tempo. Been a bit more selective with it. Lovely. What could we have done? With that being Garinchka, would you expect him to finish that? I don't know if going across goal would have been better there. Okay, so something minor, ever so minor. He's up here with the right back in just a second. We're going to be too aggressive. It's just stepping up a little bit too much. Lovely pass. Lovely. Ah. Got away with that. It's a good foul to give away though, really. One thing I want to look at here is the whole way to defend very well is by keeping your team shape as best as you possibly can. I don't understand the movement here with Walker. So, for me, that is very much carry on tracking that run. Like, you've got Vieira there who's marking this man, and there's no real threat directly through the middle. I would personally keep tracking that run down there. What you decide to do, though, is to come forward. You know when I say cover the passing lanes and then pressure the ball holder? The reason why this bit is wrong compared to the previous examples is because the gap between you and the ball holder is too far. You can't cover this pass and then put a tackle in on the ball holder. So the better option here is to carry on running with that. Because unfortunately what we do is we just do nothing really. Like that movement forward there is pointless. Now we've just given him all this space to run into, and then it means Van Dijk has to come over and cover for the right back, and then the right back has to go and cover for Van Dijk at centre back. So your team's out of shape. If you kept the team in shape, can you see how Van Dijk has had to come over, and he naturally should go into here theoretically. Probably won't though. No, of course not. Instead he just lingers around and does nothing. This is just general decision making here. I don't know what we're trying to do. I think either way, if we're trying to play a pass into here, now, or there, they're both wrong. If you want to pick out this man, you have to do a fake shot, X and square, and then most defenders will overshoot, so they'll carry on running that way. And then you've got this space here to pick out that runner. I don't know what we have tried to do. I really can't work it out, to be honest. We just give the ball away, though. Again, look at the clock, please, ladies and gentlemen. 78th minute. We are 1-0 up. We do not need to be giving the ball away in that sort of area. Where does this stem from? Give the ball away at that end, which is what it is. I think this bit's fine here. Yeah. I think with Vieira, again, I'm not too sure on the movement. Let's go back and look at it. Let's just watch the movement with Vieira. We go backwards, which I think if we just need to come into this area. Let's take a look. I think this is fine what we've done here, but what I'd say here is, don't we just want to run into that area? Because that's the danger around here. I'm not... 2 seconds, I'm just getting the music back. I'm not 100% sure of what we do there, and that then just gives... Can you see how Vieira's then playing catch-up? He's got both players in front of him. Which then, I mean, look, I mean, just look at that. Like, if that Vieira, instead of going backwards, came towards his goal, they wouldn't have that space. It's then difficult because you're in a 2v1 situation with Van Dijk, so that's hard to defend, really. You either commit or you just try and jockey, which, you know, either way, it's 50-50. Again, we're coming up to the end of the game. We've just got to see it out. Wins the ball here. Kingpin puts good pressure on. I like this. He does well to get to that situation. But I almost feel like, again, Semedo could run forward a little bit and then look for the passes. Instead, we rush it, and obviously it's marked. In FUT Champs, this is probably going to be a goal, if I'm honest with you. And then it goes to extra time, and then you might lose in extra time. Good save from the keeper. You see, Kingpin, I don't think you necessarily had a bad game there. You did have a few good chances where you could have won that game. On in all honesty, for Rice, man, the tactics just seem completely wrong. So, few pointers. Again, I said it at half time. This needs to be at 90% minimum. Your pass accuracy. Personally, I think possession. I think possession is kind of the way to go. It frustrates people, so I'll be aiming to get that above 55%. 60 really is always the nice one, but this is appalling. 3 shots, 2 on target. Now, we got a nice little goal, but we didn't create anything. And I'd say the reason why we didn't create anything, at no point really did the fullbacks get involved. The fullbacks never really left their halfway line. And the defending, there was a lot of errors in defence. Not switching quick enough, being too passive, not getting in the face of the opponent. And then the opposite, being too aggressive, pressing tackle unnecessarily. I just think, yeah, I mean, there's a few issues on that front. For yourself, Kingpin, I feel like you did a lot in that game. 12 shots, 10 on target. I think a few of your decision making could have been a little bit better to get the goals. You had 9 tackles. When you did go a goal down there, when you got later on into the game, you did press fairly well and put him a bit under pressure. I'd just like to see a little bit more from Reisman going forward. The goal that he scored was beautiful. It was a good decision to go back inside on the near post instead of looking for that pass back, which most people go for. He gave the ball away a lot, as I've already said. So a few things on there. I'd like to see another game, to be honest with you. I'd like to see what tactics he's running as well, because to me, none of that worked. None of that worked. It seemed like a difficult game to even get the ball moving for him, essentially.